everybody. Thank you for checking out this episode of Raised on the Radio. I am one half of the show. I am Colt Brocado, my good friend Patrick Blair in Zoomland as usual. Sir, I hate to start the show out on a bummer topic. I have a very big downer, though. And as well as you know, Jeff Burton, who is a very big radio personality in St. Louis on the Rizzuto show. He is someone who a lot of bands attribute their success, a lot of their success to, from Jeff Burton putting their music on the radio. He has been battling pancreatic cancer for a little over a year now, I believe, and his body is just not doing what it needs to do, and he's been put on hospice. So we're hoping for a miracle here. You being in the music scene for so long, you might have, been around him, quite a bit more than I have. I've never actually met him, just listened to him over and over and over and over again. So what do you have any stories? Do you have what's your thoughts on this whole situation, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is a bummer. So I haven't been able to, it's been for the past year. I've been saying every time I get on social media, because I follow him everywhere, and I would just say to my wife or anyone that was listening, was like, this, fuck cancer. Like, he has aged, it aged him so much, and it's like a bummer to watch and see, and watch a guy who really just full of life and like the life of the party, and I don't even mean like he partied, drank and drug. I'm not even talking about drinking and drugs. I'm just saying like life of the party. Always had jokes to tell. Always, interacted with everyone and socialized with everyone. And, bummer, total bummer, just to see the decline of his health. And for anyone who's listening outside of, I would imagine anyone who's listening outside of the St. Louis area, perhaps you don't know who we're talking about, but I mean, Jeff, I'm going to use every word in the book here to describe him, but he is a legendary, famous, infamous, notorious radio DJ out of St. Louis. Garnered his popularity through 105.7 The Point, which is our big rock station. He has seen all of the changes in rock music. He has worked through them all. He's been on radio nearly as long as I've been alive, probably as long.
Yeah.
So for me, this is just, it's extra for me I grew up listening to the guy. I've preached many times on this podcast how important radio has been to me and is to me still to this day, still important to me. I think there are two genres of music where if you get on the radio, it's a big fucking deal. It's country music and rock music. I still think it means something. So he, I grew up listening to him, and then I was fortunate enough to, become an adult and get to hang out with him and interact with him. And he was so cool to me, man. I don't want to tell you band stories. Forget that. Now, to what you said, yes, he did. He put my band on the radio, played my band. He booked us on shows. He did more than enough, more than he had to sort of say, hey, here's this band. You guys should check them out. Went above and beyond. And he didn't have to do that. And he will never know how appreciative I was in the moment, and everyone else in the band that I was in the moment, how appreciative we were. And when he did that, when he put us on the radio, dude, like you said, like people attribute to that, like launching their careers, dude. We went from no one in the scene here in St. Louis to all of a sudden I was getting noticed at malls. Like, that's how much, I swear to God.
Yeah.
Like two afternoons of radio play, and then one show later, I'm walking in a mall and people are like running up to me like, aren't you the, and I'm like, oh, wow. So like, huge deal. But I want to tell you a different story. So like, when I say that I got to hang out with him, I was at different events and, got to socialize and interact with him in a way that's like, this isn't band shit. This is just me being me and you being you, and put all the bullshit aside, whether you're a radio DJ or I'm in a band, whatever. And he was very real to me. He didn't treat me like a band guy. He just treated me like a person. And to be honest with you, there were a few situations where I was in a room with people that I didn't know, and they did not give a fuck that I was there, and didn't like, oh, that guy, thinking I want to be the band guy. I want to schmooze with the radio people. I was never like that. And he knew I wasn't like that. So he would always be the guy to like call me over, sit down, let's have a beer. Like, let's chat. And that again, just meant so much to me, because at that point in time in my life, I was kind of like, socially speaking, I was a little bit lost, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I suffer from severe social anxiety. So to have someone like that, put all the bullshit aside, put the jobs aside, the occupation or whatever, and just sit me down and be like, hey dude, let's talk. What have you been up to? Whatever. It meant something to me then. And it does right now for sure. So yeah, man, just an awesome dude. I don't know anyone that has anything bad to say about him. And I do know quite a few people that know him more intimately than I do. And they always had good things to say about him. And if like a person like you who's listened to him on the radio, I mean, come on, what's not to like about the guy? I
Right.
guess is my question. So yeah, there was a specific time where he did it. So I won't name names, but I'll try not to. But I went to an industry party, and it was the person who was throwing the party was a big deal. Let's just say that. And I walked in and just immediately felt so fucking out of place. And I was just like, oh God, where's the beer? Like I just, and I recall like trying to have a conversation with someone, and they kind of did the whole like, oh yeah, cool. And then kind of turned their back on me. I was like, God damn it. And it was sure enough, the first person to really like, flag me down. Like I said, he would do the, like, hey, come over here, dude. That whole
Mhm.
thing. It was Jeff. Again, in that moment, he's a big deal here in St. Louis on the radio. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to talk to me. Nobody me. You know what I mean? He could have just minded his business and schmoozed it up with the industry folks. But, for whatever
Mhm.
reason, he felt it. Maybe he was the same way, social anxiety and all that stuff. And he could see it in me. Who knows? Good dude. Such a bummer. You know, Hopefully, like you said, people are hoping for a miracle. What else can you do? But
Right. There's this weird thing, and I think it's gotten more, at least for me, with like podcasts and stuff like that, but also radio. But a lot of radio is turned into podcasts now. But where you really like when you listen to people all the time, like every day, you really, whether you know a person or not, you really feel like you do know them, like on a personal level, because you do. I mean, they're talking about themselves all the time, so you really get to learn them. They don't know who you are, but you learn them. So like my anxiety level over the past few days has been like way up because
no.
I think it's because of that. Like I listen to the Rizzuto show all the time, and like I said, Jeff is my favorite radio personality that I've ever listened to. So to feel like I know somebody on a personal level, know what they're going through and all this kind of stuff, and know that there's nothing that I can do, or and I don't know, did you watch the clip or did you listen to the Rizzuto show talk about it?
Yes.
I can't get myself to do it. I have not done it yet, and I don't know if I can. It's just like I said, my anxiety's been very high over the past few days, and it's just one of those things where like I don't want to, I don't want to do it. And I don't know. It's just kind of where I'm at with it right now. But
It's
yeah,
not as bad as you think.
it's not.
No, I think you'll be able to I think you'll be able to do it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
I mean, I think you should. Well, look, dude, I think you should watch it merely because those are the dudes that have been, when you work a job like being on the radio and these things where you spend multiple hours at a time every day with somebody,
Mhm.
whether you want to admit it or not, or whether you want to say it or not, or whether you want to say it publicly or not, you're attached to that person. You
Right.
know that person. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
even if you don't hang out outside of the radio station, even if you don't hang out, even if you don't hang out outside of the factory, you spend 8 hours a day with somebody close to them every day, they're
Right.
going to get to know you a little bit. So I
Right.
think you'd be able to make it through it. So like I said, those guys have been beside him through all of this, before the cancer, after the cancer, and now with this. And like you said, like you feel like you know him. I feel like there's a lot to be learned about that, meaning from him, because he was really good at connecting to the demo that the point has.
Yeah.
And as someone who's been around radio DJs outside of St. Louis, he really was good at that, and he just had a way about it. He really just made you feel connected to the station, to him, to whatever show he was on. And I think especially when he did, Drive Time with Tom West, it started as Jeff, Trish, and Tom, and then it became, Tom and Jeff. It was just, he just had a way about him of connecting to the people he knew. He knew what the demo was, and he knew what to say and how to say it and what jokes to tell and what references to make. And again, anybody who's good at their job knows how to do that. But it's just with him, it just felt sincere. It didn't feel like he was going for ratings. It didn't feel like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so, you know, all I can keep doing is saying good things about him at this point. It's just,
Yeah, I get it. Let me ask you this. I don't know how you deal with this kind of stuff. So the stand-up comedy special that Anthony Jeselnik put out, that Thoughts and Prayers.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever can like attach that to like experiences in your life or anything like that. Like you want to be able to say thoughts and prayers, or you want to be able to say, whatever you can to make people feel better, but it's not that you like, there's not much that you can do. So like I've not been on Facebook near as much over the past few days either, because I'm friends with Jeff Burton, and all of it is just everybody tagging him with pictures of them with him and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I can go through and like all these, but that doesn't do anything, and it just makes me feel weird. Right.
Well, I mean, it does do something. It shows how strong and how big and strong the community is of people that really enjoyed him and love him. And so I wouldn't I wouldn't put it that way, dude. I think it does something. Now, again, you're right. It is just liking, it's pressing a button on social media. I get it. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it's just a testament to who he is.
Right.
I mean, fuck, man. I hope if something happens to me, people post nice things about me. I got quite a few enemies, but I mean, I hope.
I was gonna say,
the outpouring of. I mean,
you may want to start cleaning some stuff up right now. If
go ahead and build those bridges back up that I've burned.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, go through. Definitely watch the Rizzuto video. I don't know what else to say, man. We'll see what happens over the next few days, but the way that they describe it on that show is, it's essentially everywhere.
Yeah.
Every organ, his blood, his fucking bones, like. There's just no coming back from that. Right. Usually.
Yeah.
But, I don't want to be negative here, and I'll knock on wood. And again, I'm not a praying type person. So I always, in situations like this, I want to put out positive vibes into the universe. And it's all you can do, man. I will join someone in prayer, in spirit, but I can't lead the prayer. I'm not it would be somebody else's would be better at it. Let me just say that. So,
right.
Okay. But check it out. You'll make it through it. You'll be
right.
I was really, when I started watching, I was like, oh fuck, these guys are gonna break down on air. But it's not like that.
Okay.
They kept it pro.
Yeah.
But they also did a really good job of explaining who Jeff is.
Yeah.
Not that they needed to, but
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I'm probably give it a few more days before I actually try to give it a listen, but we'll see. Either way, all of our thoughts and positive vibes and everything to Jeff and the Burton family. And
you can say prayers if you pray.
And like I said, hoping for a miracle. That's all we can really do. But anyways, before we get away from the music space, at the end of last episode, you told me that you think you may be a Jelly Roll fan now. I told you I was going to Google it to find out if he had done something, or find out if there was something in the media that made you a fan of him now.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that because I just wanted you to be able to explain what's going on and why.
Well, let me make this very clear. I'm so far what I've listened to, I'm not necessarily a fan of his music. I'm just a fan of him as a dude.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Kind of want to party with him.
Which can make you a fan of his music, right?
Maybe.
Sorta.
Maybe. I mean, it's pretty country for my taste, but I kind of look at him the same way I look at Post Malone. Like, I just kind of want to sit down. I want to like party with you. I want to have a few drinks with you and just shoot the shit. No, so the reason I think I'm a fan is he was on Kimmel, which, watch the performance. You let me know what you think. Like the song he did, I'm not that fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's a good song. It's just not for me.
Was it, but, do you know what the song was? Is it his big one?
Son of a Sinner?
Yeah.
Okay. But so because he was on Kimmel, he did like the LA podcast run where he was on different shows.
Yeah.
So the first show that I saw him on was Fighter and the Kid.
Okay.
But Brian Callen wasn't there. Jeff Dye was there in place of Brian Callen. So it was Jeff Dye, Brendan Schaub, and Jelly Roll. For the most part, Brendan did a good job of not interrupting him every other word. But just hearing him talk and hearing him talk about his past and hearing him talk about the industry, and I dig his vibe. I just like him. So from there, I was like, oh, I like this guy. And then I kind of introduced him to my wife. She's like, yeah, he seems pretty cool. She, like me, doesn't necessarily care for the music, but that happens.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And so the next show that I saw him on was Bert Kreischer's podcast. How long do you think it took Bert Kreischer to talk about himself?
Oh, negative 12 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. He opened the show with asking him about something that had to do strictly with Jelly Roll. And Jelly Roll started talking, and Bert was like, yeah, so and I'm like, motherfucker, why do you have people on your show? Just tell stories. Don't have guests. It's so rude. I want to hear about this guy,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about the Rolling Stone article again. I don't want to hear about Will Smith again. I don't want to hear about Florida State again. I want to hear about Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
So that really made me become a fan, because the amount of patience he had to just sit there and go, oh, you're going to tell me you could, dude, when someone's like waiting for their turn to talk, which is what Bert Kreischer does.
Yeah.
And then when someone's in the room with someone who waits their turn to talk and is polite. That's what Jelly Roll was. I was like, I really like this guy now.
Yeah.
From there, I don't think I've seen him on anything else. I think I've seen that he's been on other things, but I haven't watched them. But I like the guy. I don't know. Maybe he's got a rap album coming out, apparently.
That's what I was going to ask earlier.
That.
I think he's a cross genre musician. Like country. He's fallen into a country vibe for the most part, I think. But I think every album changes up quite a bit,
which is cool. So maybe he'll put out something that I like. I remember he was on, man, I don't know what song it was. So just some song randomly. I had YouTube on in the background when I was doing something at home, because sometimes I put it on the TV and I just hit shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot remember whose song it was. It's not Tom McDonald, but I want to say it's someone like that. But he had a song with somebody, and I had no idea. I knew I had heard the name, and this is like a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. This is a while ago. I really like that song, and I need to find out what it was, because I think for the most part I like that song. It was very much had like it reminded me of like Nappy Roots. You know who Nappy Roots is?
I know of them, yeah.
Oh no, hell nah, boy, y'all done up and done it. Oh no, you know that song?
Yeah.
But they have another song. I have to know what it's called, so because I know you'll know this song, because I think at one point in time that song I just sang to you, they did the remix with POD, I want to say, but then they have a song called "Good Day." We're gonna have a good day. Da, 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 da. Yeah. So anyway, whatever this song was, it reminded me of Nappy Roots, and that's why I liked it. But I got to find out what it is. Anyway.
So hang on, you're saying Nappy Roots did something with POD, or you're saying whoever?
Yeah, they did that "Oh No" song.
Interesting.
A remix with POD. I don't think I'm crazy. I think this was like right around that time too, when Papa Roach did the song with Black Eyed Peas. So that was like a thing going on.
Okay.
Oh no, Nappy Roots.
I thought you were gonna say like when Jay-Z and Linkin Park did the Collision Course album. That might have been around the same time too, huh? I don't know.
Yeah. No, this is just featuring Marcos of POD.
I don't know who that is.
That's the guitar player.
Okay.
Sounds like POD guitars. Anyway, don't ask me why I remember that.
That's pretty good. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I like Nappy Roots, and I love POD, so naturally, I'm gonna check that out. So yeah, Jelly Roll. We'll wait and see what happens. So while we're on music, I had another thing. So today, I was thinking about something randomly while I was on the treadmill. Because I was watching a Korn live performance while I was on the treadmill, and this was from way back in 2000. Which, by the way, dude, YouTube this later. YouTube Korn live at Rock am Ring in 2000. Dude, Korn was on another level back then, dude.
Yeah,
they sounded fucking awesome. But anyway, I just started thinking about something. This is the year 2000, so records are still selling. Pop's huge, rock is huge, rap is huge. You had TRL. Korn was on TRL. Like Korn they were superstars. Limp Bizkit, they were superstars. And it had me thinking about something. Do you think they could bring back a TRL today, and you would have that cross-pollination of pop and dark rock like Korn was back in those days? I don't mean somebody like Bring Me the Horizon, who was already crossed over and kind of poppy now. I mean, a band like Korn was back then, everything was dark. The lyrics were dark, the riffs were dark, everything just had this like overall darkness about it. Do you
Yeah.
think that would ever happen in 2022? I mean, Korn was on the same video countdown show as like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, with songs like Somebody Someone, and like what was the other one? Like Got the Life's Okay. Like Got the Life had that sort of, what is the song I'm thinking of? Son of a bitch. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But so they're on a video countdown show with pop stars, fucking O-Town, and then now you got Korn.
But it's, yeah, I mean, it was just like a different thing, right? Like it's a different countdown show that you hadn't really ever seen before. It's not like a billboard. It's not like one of your
it's kind of like the video billboard, I guess.
Okay.
But that's what I'm asking. So like, you're right.
Yeah.
It was different for the time.
Yeah.
Fast forward 22 years. Could you even do that? Could you have, Billie Eilish and Kid Laroi and Lil Nas X and all these pop artists, and then have insert a dark band like Wage War on the countdown? Like, could Manic play after Lil Nas X in a video count? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but you're saying, can they? Like, could they? What do you mean by
meaning? Like, would there be a demand from the audience? Would the audience even would they go, what the fuck? Because back then, maybe at first when they saw Korn, they're like, what the fuck? But Korn, they were ingratiated into top 40.
Yeah.
By MTV and by the fans. So
right.
It just had me thinking, like, could you do that today?
I don't
in a fan pleasing way, not like forcing it down their throat,
unless you could, man, I don't know. Like with streaming services like Netflix and Hulu and all that kind of stuff, as big as it is now, and you don't have, a lot of people that have unplugged from cable and stuff. What I was going to say is, like, if you had a channel that was as big as MTV was at the time, like if you could build up a channel to be what MTV was again,
yeah,
then maybe. But with so many people like unplugged from it and stuff, I don't know if you could make something that big again. And I don't know.
I mean, you could do it on YouTube or Twitch, but I mean, those are different animals, I feel.
Yeah.
What a bummer. Those were better times, man.
Who would host it now if they did it? Would we bring Carson Daly back?
No, certainly not.
Where is he, by the way? Any idea?
I don't know.
Is he hosting anything anywhere?
He got kicked off. Well, he was doing, I saw him on something because I remember going, whoa, Carson started picking up the donuts. He does something now. I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay.
Who would host it today? I don't even know anyone on TV these days. I don't watch TV.
It'd probably be Ryan Seacrest.
It would be like someone from Stranger Things or something. What's the girl's name? Millie Bobby Brown or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting to think about. I'm going to do it. There's my $1 million idea. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring back TRL, and I'm going to mix all of my favorite pop music with all of my favorite dark music.
So refresh my memory on TRL. So TRL, Total Request Live, was the top, like, were all of them actually requested, or was was it TRL's actual lineup that they think was, from 10 to 1 or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe in the beginning it was fan requests, but I mean, do you really want to flood through 5 million Backstreet Boy requests to get to one, like, Hoobastank request? Like, I mean, Come on. Yeah. I think eventually they were like, all right, we're just going to pick what we think are the top 10 most popular videos, and we're just going to tell people those are the top 10 most popular. Maybe not.
Okay.
But it's interesting to think about. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to team up with some people who would be interested.
I mean, you could do it and there's no saying that somebody's not doing it on YouTube now.
Oh, I'm sure there is. I mean, I'm sure you could find this anywhere, but I mean, again, on the level of you're like cross-pollinating giant pop stars with dark music. Again, not a band like Bring Me the Horizon or like I Prevail, even, who I Prevail is heavy. Yeah, poppy, dude. Those, and I like them. The hooks are nursery rhymes to me, though.
Yeah.
Back to the nursery rhymes. We were talking about streaming. You know what I finally watched last night? Hustle.
Oh, okay.
Give me your thoughts on it now that I finally watched it.
I enjoyed it.
Don't give me your first thought that you texted me. Let's not tell the world what you said to me.
Oh. Okay. No, I enjoyed it. I think for what they were trying to do with the movie, I think they hit exactly what they were trying to do.
I
Like
agree.
it was a feel good, emotional story from the bottom to the top kind of thing. And I think that's exactly, they knew what they were trying to do. And yeah, it's maybe the same movie that's been made over and over and over again with different scenarios, but I think they hit their mark. I think they knew, I and I think Adam Sandler did freaking awesome acting in that movie.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's his best performance by far.
Yeah.
And if you come at me with that bullshit Uncut Gems movie, don't ever, anyone out there, now that I've seen Hustle, don't bring Uncut Gems in my face. I'll smack you. The movie sucks.
Also the guy, who was the guy that played the Sixers owner, the
Kenny
bald headed.
Smith.
Yeah, he did it freaking awesome in
Wait,
that
the
movie.
Sixers owner.
Or no, yeah, the one that took over.
The white guy, Ben Foster.
Yeah.
Ben Foster's great. Dude, that dude's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's incredible. Kenny Smith played the agent that was friends with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? That scene where they're at the funeral and it's Dr. J and Kenny Smith. My wife goes to me, she goes, "Are those famous basketball players?" I was like, "That's fucking Dr. J. Are you joking me?" So I liked it. Here's my only problem. And again, I know you gotta separate reality from, what's the saying? How does it go? Doesn't matter. My only problem is that the main character, Bo Cruz, was played by a guy who's been in the NBA, but wasn't as good as any of the guys we saw in that movie. So for them to like pull the wool over our eyes and go, "Oh, by the way, now he's better than all these guys," kind of made me annoyed. Like, I would have rather you have just gotten someone we didn't know who could ball and just made us believe that he was, an NBA player. But
yeah, but I don't know what the demographic is. Like, are they trying to reach out to people who are NBA fans, who are basketball fans?
For sure.
Or is this just like a movie that they're trying to reach everyone with? And if that's the case, if you don't know who the guy is, then who the main character, then it's not that big of a deal.
It's a big deal to me. Juancho Hernan Gomez he plays in Spain right now, but it was good. I enjoyed it. There were a couple of corny, cheesy parts, of course, involving Queen Latifah, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
I can't read you a lot because there's a lot of times where I watch something and I'm like, you know what, I enjoyed that. Patrick would absolutely hate that, and then you watch it and you come back like, it was all right. I enjoyed it. I'm like, man,
what's another thing that I've done? That's
impossible to read. Oh, I don't. Well, like, say like the ending of things like Dexter and Ozark and stuff like that. Like I have texted you and said, you're going to hate this because I watched it first. And then you come back like, no, actually I enjoyed that. And I'm like, you don't make sense, sir.
I didn't hate either of those endings.
I know. That's what I
thought I was going to, though.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing with Dexter. I wanted to hate it, but the way that the show ended previously, I hated so much that I was like, all right,
everyone did.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
With Ozark, I'll tell you why I didn't hate it, because they pulled me in so much on the characters that I wanted different things for each character. And I wasn't even looking at a show ending necessarily. Like, for sure wanted Wendy to die. Right. That's for sure. But no, Hustle was good. Speaking of getting hustled, you're a UFC fighter. We're going to create a hypothetical here.
Okay.
Let's just say you're a UFC fighter and you go on Twitter and you see a video of your boss, Dana White, giving a fuckboy $250,000 for his birthday. And you made $12,000 your last fight. Could have been 24, but you lost the split decision. So you only got 12,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you're watching Dana White with fluttering eyelashes give a fuckboy YouTuber 250,000. How are you going to feel?
I've been thinking about this a lot today, and I understand how a fighter could get mad, but the difference is that this is coming out of Dana White's pocket, not the UFC's pocket. Well, why would the UFC be paying a YouTuber? Maybe
it's fraud. Maybe he's going to go to jail. It's called embezzlement, homie.
Maybe.
No,
jeez, that's a weird rumor to start.
I'm with you. What he does on his personal time and what gifts he gives to his friends, totally his business. It's not anyone else's. Now, I understand why a fighter would be upset, and believe me, the outcry on Twitter, there are tons of fighters. Now, here's the thing. The fighters who were pissed off about it are those lower level fighters who are not getting paid well. The fighters who are getting good money, they're not saying, like Aljamain Sterling was like, hey, Dana, my birthday is July 31st. I can't wait to see what I get. Now, look, if you're a champion and you want to be a star for the company, that's what you do. Okay. Aljamain's well known. He's a champion, but he's not a star. If you're Nate Diaz, you just go hashtag free Nate Diaz, right? That's the difference.
Have they made his fight, by the way? I seen an article the other day. I don't remember where it was, but saying that he had decided on who, like there was an agreement made for his fight, and this is the last fight on his contract.
I didn't see anything.
And he'll be walking after that, but I don't know.
I didn't see anything.
Okay.
No, but back to Dana White.
Yep.
Well, while we're on Nate, did you see that he smacked one of the Nelk Boys cameramen or reporters or whatever the fuck they call these guys that go? Yeah, these dudes got it coming, man. These dudes are going backstage at fights and they're talking shit. Like I saw a video today, somebody was talking shit to Henry Cejudo. Like I don't know what these guys, I don't know what malfunction is going on in their brain, but like eventually this is going to come back to haunt you.
I'll say
you keep walking into public like these places and you talk shit to fighters. Good luck.
So they're not fighters or anything like that. They're just YouTubers.
They're YouTubers, dude.
Just getting the hits.
You want me to give you a full bio on the Nelk Boys?
Yes, please.
Their podcast sucks, by the way. It's incredibly boring. And I dare people to find me good clips that shows me otherwise. They're a Canadian-American YouTube channel and entertainment company. They are known for their prank videos, vlogs, and their brand Full Send Entertainment. The group's founders, Kyle Forgard, that's the guy who got the money, and Jesse Sabastini have been referred to as two of the most recognizable personalities for young people in North America. There you go.
That's it. That's all we got.
That's all I'm giving you because I don't give a shit.
So you said their podcast sucks. Any idea what kind of content they actually put out?
They had Dana White on once, and I think I sent you a video. They had maybe a fighter on. I was like, this is incredibly boring. Like, it's just boring. Like, they're not interesting. They're not intelligent. They have nothing.
I wonder what the link is to get Dana White on.
They have money. I don't know.
Can you imagine what that costs, though? What kind of money that costs to get Dana White on your podcast?
Probably nothing, honestly. So the Full Send website is nothing but merch.
I don't know that I've heard of Dana White doing any other podcasts besides Rogan, and that's been a long time.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
I don't even remember him being on Rogan. So you want to know what they sell on their website, merch-wise? Beer pong tables.
Well, that's neat.
A condom pool floaty. A Senders jersey. That's a ripoff of the Sixers jersey. Or that's the Golden State jersey. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just a bunch of merch. So they're typical. Anyway, whatever. More successful than you and I. So whatever. I'm a hater. I am a hater. Your podcast is boring, guys. Sorry. None of you are intelligent. You don't have anything funny, or you don't have a unique point of view or an unusual point of view. You're fuck boys. That's why Dana White gave you $250,000. But my point is, and this is why I'm not a hater, but these guys keep going backstage at fights and they think all these fighters are just going to sit back and go, yeah, right. Like, dude, you got another thing coming. Here's the thing. You want to do that? Fine. That's how you get clicks. I would never do that. Not out of fear that Nate Diaz would kick my ass or Henry Cejudo would kick my ass, because I have respect for them and what they do.
Right.
That's why I wouldn't go fuck with them. You know what I mean?
So
especially if it's someone who just fought, right? Nate Diaz was just there. Henry Cejudo was just there hanging out. But especially if it's someone who just fought. Hearing
that does make it a little worse that Dana White gave him that money. And that everybody, like all the fighters, are seeing that, just because now you're telling me that these guys go back and mouth fighters.
Go YouTube it, man. Yeah,
I need to. That makes it a little.
It's little fuck boy. It's that little like it's that little fucking sneaky fucking I want to be cute shit. That little fucking you didn't catch this type thing. It's like, no, we get it. I'll smack you, bitch. Like one of those things. Like, so I just don't understand where we are. It's some Jake Paul shit. That's what it is.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Do you compare it to Jake and Logan?
Well, none of these guys are fighting. That's the thing.
True.
But
yeah.
You know, and Jake Paul, dude, did you see the weigh-in, the stare down with him and Hasim Rahman Jr.?
I did.
Whew, what a size difference.
Uh-huh.
There's some things in the contract. I don't know if you've heard about this,
What's
Jake
up?
Paul is not for real getting drug tested. He's not going through all the usual testing, which fine, whatever. But they also said that there's a 10-pound rehydration limit for Rahman. So he can't weigh more than 210 fight night.
Huh.
Because they're fighting at cruiserweight. So cruiserweight's 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So he can't weigh more than 210. It's in the contract.
Huh.
Again, I every ounce of my soul just hopes that Hasim Rahman puts an end to this shit. We'll see.
Just every time he fights, you're just hoping that the next person's got to be the one that puts an end to this.
I mean, they did spar together, and of course, both of them are telling different stories about sparring. But let's go back to Dana White. Before I don't want to go down a Jake Paul rabbit hole. That'll take too long. What's grosser about the situation? The fact that you have fighters who think they're underpaid and you're giving YouTubers money, or the fact that you gave another grown man a birthday present in the first place?
That's a little odd.
Grown men don't give each other birthday presents. Okay.
Right.
Here's what's acceptable. Okay. This is to all grown man friends of mine. If you want to get me a birthday gift, here's what you get me. You give me booze, you give me green, or a gag gift. It better not be a real gift. Okay? That's it. You don't give another grown man a gift. Are you behind this?
Yes, I am. I do. I think it's different with Christmas though.
Oh, stop it.
I don't know if that's weird or not.
That's even worse. That's weirder.
No,
That's weirder.
no, I don't think so.
That's weirder.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, let's tell people. You did give me a gift for Christmas, but it was to me and my wife.
That's true.
It's a little bit different. It wasn't just to me. It didn't have just my name on it. And oh, by the way, fuck the rest of your family. This gift's just for you for Christmas. That would be weird. You gave us a gift. That's different.
Okay.
Which we appreciated, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. 7 months later.
Yeah. I said thank you in the moment. That's so weird, dude. And I remember, and we can end on this because again, this is a rabbit hole. But I remember like Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura on their podcast bragging about like the expensive gifts they got each other for their birthday.
Yeah, dude. They're getting like each other like Ferraris and shit.
Like he bought them like a NASCAR or something, like a racing team. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I
think that's just like bragging about the money you have. Which good for you. You have it.
It is. I mean, they've got it, and I get what they're doing, but like it's got to be made public. You have to see all the videos of it and the pictures of it, and then they talk about it on the podcast and everything. And I'm just like,
I'll tell you what. When's your birthday?
May 21st.
Shit, it did just happen. All right, so for Christmas, I'm gonna get you a racing team, and we'll see if we go viral. Okay.
All right, I'm good with that.
Did I miss your birthday? I told you happy birthday, right?
What
did you do on your birthday?
I tried to go to Point Fest.
That's right. We talked about it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You did.
Let's get out of here.
Well, hang on. Before we get out of here, I do want to tell you something. I went against my code, and I actually listened to a couple episodes of Rogan today. Well, I listened to the Michael Bisping one that was not too long ago.
What? When was he on there?
A few months ago.
Okay. So long ago.
And then I actually listened to, I think it was the most previous one with Brian Redband.
Why?
I asked you last episode, I think, about like if you've ever gone back and listened to like some of the first episodes where just Rogan and Redband and stuff. And I still kind of get that vibe because I like those old episodes. They were just talking about bullshit and whatever. So I don't know. It's kind of nostalgic, I guess, a little bit, but I like Brian Redband. I like when they talk about comedy and stuff like that. However, like I really liked the Michael Bisping episode, but it still drives me nuts whenever you bring somebody like Brian Redband on and he starts talking about fighting or talking about boxing that the other person clearly doesn't know anything that you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to talk that with Michael Bisping all day long, heck yeah. But you want to talk about that with Tony Hinchcliffe? Like, why?
Here's the thing. I'd rather hear Joe Rogan talk about fighting with everyone other than I don't want to have to hear him talk about the craft and the art and the sacrifice it takes to be a comedian anymore. I'm done. You've already preached it. We get it. It's a tough job. You're like no one else. We get it.
Yeah.
I'd rather just hear him talk about boxing and fighting.
Yeah.
That's just
The,
me.
the second thing that is really driving me nuts is I told you before, I have not listened to any episodes on Spotify until now.
Yeah.
I do not like the ad placement crap. I know he's always said he wouldn't do mid-show reads. And now they just stop in like mid-sentence. It just stops and goes to an ad and then comes back.
Can't you bypass those by being a premium member?
I don't know. I don't want to do that.
You don't want to pay for. I don't either. I think it's bullshit.
No, apparently not. You don't even want to listen to music. You won't even buy premium just to listen to music that you want to listen to.
It's ridiculous. By the way, we haven't had anyone reach out yet, have we? I haven't checked the email in a minute. All right. Again, Spotify premium users, reach out to us. We want to have a conversation.
Okay, I'm gonna put this on social media. We gotta figure this out.
All right, cool.
And I'm also gonna find out from people, is it okay for dudes to give other dudes birthday gifts?
It's definitely not. It's definitely not. And I know where your head is going
You're
with
so
this.
Serious.
No. I know where your head is going with this and where everyone else's head is going with this. I'm not saying that it's homosexual to buy another man a gift.
I wasn't saying
That's
that.
not what I'm saying. I don't even think homosexual men buy other homosexual men gifts for their birthday. It's just not what men do.
You just took this down a weird
fine
rabbit hole. I wasn't.
It's not a rabbit hole. I'm just speaking the truth. That's all.
Okay. Patrick's truth. That's what that was.
Let's go back and get some action, live it up in Kids Image.